Hello, my family community. So, I am doing an update today. We've got storms coming in again, naturally. But I was getting ready, preparing, gathering my eggs to actually start hatching some chickens. And in the process of doing so, everything stopped. And the reason for that, we had an unexpected surprise. And I'm fixing to show you. Currently got everything situated up for them, ready to go. This morning I was actually starting to work on, I ran out of our garlic for my garlic powder, the last of what I had left. So I'm going to show you how I dehydrate the last of our garlic that I had grown last season. And a lot of these were still good. So I'm going to dehydrate these, and then I'm going to store them up to be able to grind later for garlic powder to finish this off the rest of this year. When I do that, I'll explain to you how you can do it and everything else. But I'm going to take you around a little bit and show you our fantastic surprise. I was not expecting this whatsoever, so I'm looking forward to it. And currently it just changed everything for what I had planned. And you know, that's the one thing about homesteading. You can make plans, but does that mean everything is going to work out the way you would expect it to? The answer is absolutely not. The other thing I'm learning, I am looking into, and I've spoken about this before, more into the Mediterranean life. Basically, it comes down to this from what I am learning. And I'm learning from a specific area. There is an island in Greece called Crete. In all reality, this island, they live a Mediterranean lifestyle, which means basically they're farmers. They grow everything. They are so self-sufficient, it's crazy. They even have a farmer's market, but nobody really purchases from it because basically everybody's doing the same thing. Now the farmer's market, or the market that they do, fresh market, is basically for tourists, and they get quite a bit over there. Their food is absolutely amazing, and technically these folks from Crete, Greece, are considered one of the healthiest people in the whole world. And it makes sense to me. So what they're doing is the same thing I'm doing here. But I'm learning how to use what we grow, how to use it effectively for our body, nourishing, and personally, I'm going to tell you, I cannot wait for growing season. I am actually very eager this year to be able to grow our own based by flavor, based by quality, based by nutrients in so many ways. And I'm ready for this. I am seriously ready for this because I am already finding out what minimal I can get right now. And even in nutrients, I've got minimals in it. However, I'm still getting something. And to learn how to use the food, how to make my meals in so much bursting flavor by basically using what I have grown, what I have stored through the winter, and I'm already seeing a difference. So I'm so excited this year to start. So I'm going to take you around, show you the surprise, and we're going to take this step by step because it's kind of a busy day on the homestead, and it's one of those days I wish there were two of me to get everything done. But I'm going to take it one day at a time. I am one person, and I'm going to do what I can do. So let me take you to the surprise first. Here are the itty bitty surprises that showed up at my doorstep. Remember I told y'all about the quail eggs that I had ordered, and technically when I ordered them they said about 16 to 18 weeks. So I figured this wasn't going to happen until at least the end of April or even into May and June, but they arrived today. So currently they're on their sit down resting for 24 hours. They've had a long trip since Ohio, and I'm letting these babies settle. I'm keeping them warm within this box, keeping these eggs set up, and I'll take you around to where my next setup was after this. Okay, so while these babies are resting, I currently have their incubator running, This takes at least 24 hours to make everything set up for them, so that way when they get in here, everything will be where it should be, and we will start working with this. I have the quail rails already set in line. I have right back here and that little box thing in here, my meter I was telling you about, the hygrometer and the thermometer inside. Measuring this out with this incubator here. This is a brand new one, so we're working this out. So I had to get this set up while those babies are resting, because once they are resting, they have to go in here, and they will stay in here for quails on day 14. I start taking them off these rails right here, and they will get laid down into the incubator, because they start hatching anywheres from 16 to 18 days. That is mostly the maximum for quails to hatch. They are one of the simplest, and I look forward to updating you with these little babies. They're so tiny, so cute, but they are extremely quick. They grow immensely fast, and the ones I bought were the jumbo Katorniks. So I will show you this whole step, because these are seriously exciting. So I'm going to take you now over how I set my dehydration up for dehydrating garlic at the same time. Okay, so this is the garlic, and I decided to go ahead and dehydrate these because these turned out super tiny, as you can see. So even the smallest of things can work when you're preserving, and I thought this was perfect. It's really hard to use this for cooking, although it's possible. But because I ran out of my garlic powder, well, not ran out of that, but my excess to be able to make garlic powder, I'm very spoiled, y'all, and I'm finding the more I grow, the more I do for myself, I'm becoming extremely spoiled. So on these ones that were bigger, I just cut them in half, just like so. That way they're not too plump. And the real tiny ones like this one, I just left whole. So I'm basically now, it's super easy after I did all this peeling and stuff. I'm going to put this on my tray. And I'm just going to spread this out, trying to make an even layer. So I'm going to go ahead and do this right quick, because I am one-handed on this at the moment. And I will come back and show you what it looks like when it's finished. So here's all I do. I make sure that there's plenty of room. I never overcrowd any of my vegetables or herbs or anything that I'm doing. I want complete airflow. And what dehydrator I'm using is called an Excalibur. I have 9 trays, so I have plenty of trays to do this and be able to give them proper airflow through this. So I'm going to finish this off, and I will let you know how many trays we got out of all this garlic, and I will be right back. Okay, we got a total of 2 trays out of that, and I'm so excited. That's going to take me a good long ways, especially after they're dehydrated. I'll do a follow-up to show you what they look like, and actually how, and explain to you how I'll powder them. However, at this particular time, I'm just going to store these. I'm not going to turn them into powder, because I'm going to use what I just made up and save that for a reserve. But temperature-wise, now, although garlic is considered a seasoning, you would classify it, you would think, under an herb. If you were to dehydrate it under an herb, like a leafy green, that would not work, because in my dehydrator, it's set for 105. But these are more like a vegetable as far as bulkiness and everything, and the time it's going to take to withdraw all that liquid out of the garlic. So these are set like a vegetable at 125 degrees, and I'm going to let these sit overnight. It's going to take a while, because some of them are whole, so it's going to take a while to do that. Others will say, well, how do you withstand the smell? Okay, as far as me and that, about the only thing I will not really dehydrate in the house is peppers, hot peppers. The capsaicin in those peppers would be so bad, it would take your breath away, so I don't do that. But as far as garlic, now I found it will um, it will stink for a little while like an Italian factory in here, but it don't last forever. As they start to dry out, the scent starts diminishing. So, and I don't mind garlic, to be honest with you. We cook foods of all different kinds, and it's no different than when I'm cooking fish in my oven, let alone garlic in my dehydrator. So I don't mess with this stuff too much. Some do, and I get that, but I can tolerate it. So there's that. I am looking, as you've been seeing, some of our dishes are changing. We are actually we're still doing low carb. I'm in the maintaining level now, and basically the only thing we're basically doing low carb for would be in the breading areas or breads or things like that that would hurt my husband. I have to keep the low carb for him for the rest of the life that he is with me. But to incorporate vegetables, it's not hurting him, and it's actually going to help us better. As far as our fats, I have learned a huge mistake over the past week that I won't ever do again. I am steer clear, and then another bottle of vegetable oil will never be brought into this house again. It doesn't fare well with him, and I won't do that again to him or I. So we stick basically to the olive oils, the ghee, avocado oils, even coconut oil if have to. And if any other fat, we will keep to the real fats of rendered down pork fat or rendered down beef fat for tallow. If we were going to use any of the fats, these are the best. The better of all that I listed is olive oil, ghee, avocado, those. The other ones, although they're healthy, they're still extremely fatty, so those would be spared minimally, if not used just to season my cast iron skillets. So, but as far as now me, I will do more fruits. Poor James, he has to stick to berries, but minimal amount. So we're learning that as well. But for the most part, vegetables in our body, we are becoming healthier. The healthier fats in our body, the growing of everything from raising our meat, eggs, vegetables. We are thoroughly enjoying this, and we like that we live an organic life. And honestly, when people see the Mediterranean diet, I'm just going to put it to you this way, folks. Mediterranean diet is nothing but homesteading. It's nothing but gardening. It's nothing but self-sufficient lifestyle, but learning how to use it, learning how to cook with it, and how to make it work for your body is the way I'm learning now, how to enjoy the food that I'm making, blending these flavors together. And holy smokes, I didn't, even me as a self-taught chef, I have a lot to learn. I'm self-taught. So with being self-taught, I learn even more, and I'm scaling into the Mediterranean, not for the diet per se, but for the fact that it's healthier for our body. Now, does that mean that I'm just doing complete vegetation? No. Doesn't mean I'm just doing chicken and fish. No, I'm using all meats, but we're going leaner. And we are doing this because personally, I want to live longer. And you know, I've been studying, I've had some stuff on me that I'm having to fix myself, and so I've been doing some studying personally in my Bible. And when I look back in the Bible and see how these folks lived their lives, they lived the same way, a Mediterranean life. It somehow got turned to Mediterranean, but they lived self-sufficiently. They grew and raised their own food. These folks lived, Lord have mercy, way more years than we are today. And we got to stop and think why. Basically, it's because they grew their own. They raised their own. They didn't have these grocery store conveniences we have today. The ingredients, when we read what we're eating, when you can't pronounce your food, that kind of scares me these days. And then I'm seeing the doctors. It's a, hey, they're doing good. And why are they doing good? Because we're doing bad. You know, the medications have risen higher. Our health has depleted. Our lifespans have shortened. And it's all because of the convenience in this world. Convenience came into this world is because we started growing as a nation, as a state, as the United States, the world itself. We just started growing. So this was created to accommodate us, but did it benefit us? In my opinion, no. So I'm going back. Just like I've told you several times before, and this is what I do. I'm going back. I'm going to show you the update on the peppers and tomatoes too. I've got to get those tomatoes transplanted, but we have them. And the lemongrass, it had started spurting up and it looks amazing. I couldn't believe that I could do lemongrass, which makes an awesome detox tea for your body in such a refreshing lemony flavor. I couldn't believe that I grew them from a seed. So let me take you over to those plants and show you what we got. Here is our pepper plants. They are doing so beautifully. All this here, and then I have actually an eggplant over here. I have another eggplant in here somewhere. Right now my vegetables are everywhere. These here are the Jamaican sorrels. And then right back here is our itty bitty tomatoes. Now some of these I'm going to have to replant. That over here in this corner. Let's see, I'm pointing to you. That is our basil plants, and I'm going to have to do more. What didn't come up, I'm going to replant. I still have time, but this is our progress so far. And what didn't come up on the peppers, I replanted. There's our beautiful lemongrass looking really grassy. I have another bunch right there looking really good. So I'm really happy for this. And we actually got some things growing outside right now, but I'm a bit worried, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Okay, am I a bit worried right now about these peppers and stuff? Yeah, actually, you know, I did tell you I was following a chart, and as I watched the peppers grow, I'm really hoping I didn't do them too early. I told you I was trying to avoid that this year. I know the tomatoes are doing absolutely fine, but I don't know about the peppers right now. The other thing is, we've got currently growing. We have the spinach. Actually, I might take you out there and show you what's going on and show you how everything is working. I'm really amazed this year. That is, if it's not raining. So let me check. Okay, we're currently safe for just a moment, but it won't take long before it starts raining. So here is our turnips that we started planting. And I got so much more to take you to, so let's go ahead and take you there. I have unexpected lettuce that popped up in this 10-foot bed. This pretty red ones. I'm leaving them be too. So I'm going to use them before anything gets planted in here anyways. And then over here, you know, I told you I pulled all these up because I didn't think they were going to make it. But these are kale that decided to come up. So I'll show you some of the other ones we planted. Take you around this side. So I got things everywhere. So here's the other set of turnips that we had done. Then back here, we have some more kale that are coming up. And then this comes with a slight warning. These are some bunching onions that I had done from the grocery store that are coming up, doing really good. And everything around here right now for us is literally confused. Here's some more of our bunching onions. Now I'm going to take you to another part of our garden that I had planted these at. Over here, I have anise hyssop that just took off like crazy here. And I'm super stoked. I'm going to actually start trimming some of this. and getting them dried up for tea. And then all of this is spinach. I am so excited about this. It's been a while since we had some good spinach and stuff. I'll take you over here. This is the bok choy that we put outside. And I may get ready to actually pull these all and then probably freeze them. And I'll explain in a minute why I would do that. Go over here. This is our radishes. Look how beautiful. I am so excited, y'all. I'm getting very soon to have fresh vegetables that I don't have to buy from the store. I'll take you over to some of the other ones here. Over here is where I had actually turned around and this 20-footer is where it's actually my tomato house, and I told you I cored this with the pumpkin. Unexpectedly, I had cilantro coming up. So, I mean, I'm going to take what I can get, y'all. Then over here we have more of those lettuce seeds that I thought were completely gone. So I have even more lettuce. Out here, oh wow, I've got some Swiss chard coming up, y'all. So cool. The bunching onions I did by seed, they're doing absolutely amazing out here. And then here was the new full complete lettuce bed that I had planted a couple weeks ago that are coming up. I'll show you a few more things. We have over here our apple tree. We got blooms all over this, if you can see that. I mean, beautiful blooms on these apples. It's so amazing. We've had temps in the 80s and 70s here, and it has been so nice that we seriously thought we had an early spring. But something's about to happen, and I'm going to have to cover as much as I can cover, because we are fixing to get, and winter's not over for us. We are fixing to get some drops that are going to put us in freeze point. And now I'm worried about us losing all these blooms, and winter is fooling us, and so is spring, and I'm not happy. Here in the deep south, it can be really hard for all of us because we can lose our crops just like that in a blink of an eye. So we're worried. I'm going to have to try to cover all of our vegetation that we have, and I'm not happy about this. This is where I told you, in gardening and in anything, you can't control the weather. You know, we do the best that we can do, and that's it. So, and then over here, this is that big old crop that my husband planted that was a foraging crop. Our chickens are loving this. This whole entire bed is wheat, peas, turnips, radishes. It's everything, and it's super greens for our chickens. They're loving these treats. Soon, though, this will have to come down because we're going to have to be along this fence line right there. We're going to be planting our beans, our pole beans over here. But in the meantime, this is awesome chicken feed, and they are absolutely loving it. And it's given our chickens and our turkeys healthier food as well. So we're using what we have. Foraging is working. I'll take you back inside because it's about to rain on me out here. So that's what's going on in the homestead right now. And can I say I'm frustrated? Yes, I absolutely am, because this up and down roller coaster, if it's not raining or storming here, now we're going to get, after weeks, a beautiful 60, 70, 80 degree temps. And and yes, these are cool weather plants, but we would figure usually right about now for us, it doesn't get that much of a freeze point. Now we may have an unexpected freeze point in April, in the beginning of April, which generally our last frost is April the 1st this year. But we have a rule that we usually wait till after Easter. So, but when we have temps like we have right now, and then all of a sudden winter just comes and slaps us in the face, I have tender plants, so they're not used to this weather yet, you know, and it's wakened every tree, as you saw, and everything came out of dormancy, so it's tricked everything. This can be devastating for all of us, and everybody, you know, there's many folks, oh, well, you're so lucky. Not necessarily, because we can lose all of this in one night's freeze. Everything could drop, and we have no production for the rest of the year. It's happened before to us, and so I am not excited about this at all. I am excited that we do have vegetables, but I do have to cover them. I'm going to have to figure out how to protect them, because we may have temps down to 32 to 31 degrees, and that's freezing point for us. So, I mean, we could lose everything just as much as we grown it. But that's what we're doing. And so this homestead technically is working, and I'm working harder to be able to protect what we have, because again, I want that freshness more than I've ever in the past 4 years. So this year is my year to work hard and do everything that I absolutely have to, because I do want that Mediterranean lifestyle. I do like the fact how I feel today. And if for a lady my age, I'm going to be honest with you, where I was to where I'm at right now, folks, I wouldn't go back to that old person, because I feel like now I'm going to be able to live longer because I did something for myself. Now, mind you, I'm not telling anybody you have to do this. Basically, you're just following what our life is right now, and that's it. I'm not going to tell you you have to do anything. That's completely up to you. I can show you what I'm doing, but I'm not going to tell you how to live your lives. You live your life the way you want to. I know there are people who rather prefer store-bought eggs over farm fresh eggs, and I know the reasons for it, but do some research. Do some research for yourselves and learn what lifestyle you would prefer. I'm just not going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to tell you what I learned, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and what it's doing for me, what it's doing for this homestead. And I look forward to be able to show you more throughout the spring, when spring finally completely arrives, and the fact when summer comes in, and then into our canning season and our really busy working season, where, like I said, right now we're in our down. We're trying to get started. We're trying to work with this weather, but we're not full blown into this yet. So it's going to take one day at a time right now. And it's hard when I try to create these videos and to be able to show you our lifestyle. Wintertime is the absolute hardest. So I will continue to do more of the cooking ones when I feel it's something that might interest you. And in the meantime, I'm getting ready to incubate our babies unexpectedly that came in, which I am so grateful they came in before the freeze, because that would have been really, really bad. So that's what I'm doing right now, y'all. I'm hoping you enjoyed this moment with me. I hope you enjoyed the tour on the homestead. I hope maybe I shared something important to you. And until next time, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead.